suddenly feel real, having majority of your players now all under one roof?
It's very exciting to get everyone here and get started. We've been watching the men train hard and getting themselves ready. So yeah, we're pretty excited about getting on the floor.
And when do some of the rest of the players come back?
So we should have everybody here over the weekend. So a few more arriving today, another one me on Friday, and then Ella's travelling back from Mexico. So she was at the Olympic qualifier with New Zealand. So they're all making their way here. Official training September 3rd.
And obviously we can see some of the players behind you, but what have they been doing over the last little while?
Yeah, so we've had some smaller group sessions, obviously getting them in the weight room. I think it's been particularly nice to have all of our development players here so they can ease their way into it and understand the level that's required and the intensity. I think there was some sore bodies the very first 2 weeks. They, probably the increase in load is quite big for some of those younger athletes. So a good learning experience for them, and now we're just ramping up.
How does the schedule, I guess, ramp up when you get into full sort of scrimmage, and then do you have an idea in terms of your identity and the brand of basketball you want to play, given you've now got your roster complete?
Yeah, absolutely. We've myself and Jack have spent a lot of time around what's the style, what do we want to be known for, and we've sort of landed on a few different things. But offensively, certainly we want to be one of the fastest teams in the competition. We believe we've got the fastest point guard in the league. Steph's great at kicking the ball ahead. She's a willing passer, and we've got some really good athletic guards and wings as well as big. So I think that's the strategy initially, and we'll be focusing on that in the first 2 weeks, just getting that embedded into our style of play, and then building on into the half court after that.
Every team wants to have a good defensive profile, and the guys have become very much known for that, especially early. Is that a high priority for you, or is it the offense first?
No, absolutely. So we absolutely want to defend the island. We're going to protect our paint and protect our home court, and that's a big focus for us defensively. We think we have the athleticism to be really aggressive. We know Steph's one of the better defenders, but you throw in the mix Darcee Garbin, who's well known for her skill as a big, to be able to defend on balls and defend smaller guards. And then we've got some real flexibility with Akili Froling that can play multiple positions. So we want to be really aggressive defensively and set the tone.
Just on Darcee, what can we expect from her as a player?
She's really, I guess she's one of the better shooters in the league, so certainly she'll be able to stretch the floor for us. But what we've seen from her in the recent years is her ability to put it on the deck and take on some of the slower-footed bigs that'll be defending her. And then we want her defensively to be impacting the ball, and just, I guess, her ability to be defensively, deflecting and I guess dictating some of the on-ball coverage stuff for us will be really important.
When do you lose Steph? When does she actually take off? And when do you get it back as well? Most important.
So that's a challenge for us, not having our starting point guard for most of pre-season. Steph's last training with us will be today, and then she's out. Australia flies out actually on Friday. She'll meet us in Townsville at the pre-season tournament. So she will have missed, I guess, us implementing and installing all of our offenses, but that's okay. She's a very smart athlete, and she'll pick it up quickly.
If you officially start pre-season, was it September 1?
September 3rd.
September 3rd. Is that a relatively short window of the pre-season?
It's very short. I guess it's a factor of the NBL 1 seasons and some of the WNBA athletes and what the agreement is with the Players Association, but that's okay. We have been doing what we can to prepare ahead of time and I guess drip feeding some information to our athletes ahead of time in terms of what our style of play is and what we want to be known for, so that they're not getting here and everything's new to them.
We've seen crowds really rally at My State Bank Arena. When you think of October 15, walking out and there being a big crowd, what sort of emotion does that bring?
Well, I'm sure I'll be extremely nervous and excited. Look, I think the opportunity to play in front, and be that very first game is going to be incredible and huge. And I hope we're up for the moment. We will be. We'll be well prepared. But I probably don't have the words for it. I'm getting so excited about it.
When it is only a 5 or 6 week long pre-season, does that lessen the impact for Steph, I suppose, because it is only such a short window? Like, you're not without it for 2 or 3 months, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we're just putting strategies in place around what that looks like without Steph, making sure that we can integrate her as quickly as we can, and she's obviously going to be a big part of what we do in our success on the floor, so we want to make sure that she can transition back in quite quickly. She's, I guess, well across the style play that we want, what we're chasing there. So I think it'll just be around, her teammates, make sure they're talking to her on the floor and bringing her along to Germany.
Any closer to knowing when the imports might arrive, or still a bit up in the air?
So we're working on that. So Gianna's team won't make the playoffs, so she should be here for round 1. Medina and Atlanta is still not sure where they'll finish in the standings, likely to make playoffs, so that'll depend how far they go.
So even though they won't make playoffs, still has a bit of a break before coming out here then?
Well, that's all up to negotiation. Claudia would like them here right away. So we're working on that. I guess conscious that they'll be away from family and homes for 6 months, so we make sure that they get a few days to give some hugs and see, Gianna's got a brand new little nephew, I believe. So yeah, get a bit of family time and then come out here.
All right, Steph, run us through what the last couple of weeks have been like for you, and then you're flying off again at the end of this week.
Yeah, so I finished up my NBL 1 season, and unfortunately we didn't win the championship, but it gave me an opportunity to come down here early and settle myself in. So I've been spending the last weekend here training with a few of the girls, getting myself situated in Tasmania, which has been really, really nice. And then on Friday I go to the World Cup in Berlin with the Australian Opals.
How are you feeling about that?
I'm really excited, yeah. Obviously it's a dream come true. It's something I've always wanted to do. So I feel really good, and I knew that this was the best place. I mean, look at this facility. This was the best place to do the last of my preparation. So I feel really ready, I feel confident, and I'm really excited to go over there and represent the Opals.
How important has this little bit of familiarisation been before you do head off and then rejoin the team post pre-season, I suppose?
Yeah, it's been amazing, honestly. Just to even move into my house and, drop a couple suitcases, unpack, be able to walk around the facility and, put a few things in my locker. It's honestly amazing, to be here, to prepare, to be, with the girls and get a little bit of FaceTime in before I, disappear for a little bit and come back for pre-season. It's been really important.
Are you excited to call Tassie home for a couple months?
Yes, absolutely, especially after moving my stuff in, and I've been walking to every restaurant I've ate at. I've tried so many good local ones, so I'm loving life, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving the people. It's been a really seamless move, which is really nice. I've played overseas the last few years, and it hasn't been as easy, so I've absolutely loved every second, and I can't wait to get back here after World Cup.
Claudia just sort of spoke about you being the engine of the team and a lot of the what the team is going to do based around what you bring at point guard. How challenging will that be to, I suppose, miss pre-season and a lot of the practice and whatnot, and come straight back in the early part of the season, the pre-season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously being the point guard and being away for summer pre-season isn't the most ideal, but I think just even this little bit of time here, we're going to have a lot of the girls at training today, being able to be on the floor with them. I think, being in Australia, being in the system before, I think it'll be a seamless transition back. I get to meet the girls in Townsville for the tip-off, and we'll see how I go in terms of where I'm at to play, but we have another month after that to prepare for the first game on October 15th, so I feel confident that by then I'll be way more integrated than I probably expect, and I can't wait to be on the court with the girls.
What do you have to get out of the World Cup? Obviously wins, but personally I suppose as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just so excited and grateful to play on that stage. And yeah, obviously we're going over there to win. We want to be on that podium, so that's the main priority. I've made sure I'm physically, mentally ready to be over there, and I think if my opportunity's called, I'll be ready to get on the court and contribute the best way I can.
What do you think of the squad that's been assembled? I suppose pretty exciting to be part of some of those names that are featured in that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, basketball in Australia is just growing rapidly. The depth of talent, selections were really difficult, and it was a difficult time for us. There's so many people vying for every position, so to even be in contention for that and then be selected, I'm absolutely honoured to be a part of it. And we're really close. We are like a family. We genuinely do love each other, so I'm excited to get over there and see all my friends and see all the girls and get on the court with them, and hopefully get on that podium and win a medal.
All right, Darcee, how does it feel to touch down in Tassie?
Yeah, it's actually been quite overwhelming with the amount of support, and just so overwhelmed with how amazing this facility is, to be honest. Everyone's been so helpful. I obviously have my daughter Rose, and my husband's back in Perth, so thought it might be a bit more difficult navigating that, but yeah, everyone's been amazing, and it's so exciting to finally be here and get started.
What excites you most about the playing group?
I just think coming together, we've got a fairly young group, I guess. I'm probably one of the older ones, if not the oldest, which pains me a little bit to say, but I'm just really excited to see what Chloe and the other coaches are going to put together for when we finally get back out on court. Obviously we lose Steph for a little bit in pre-season to the World Cup, but how amazing to have an Opal point guard in our team. So yeah, can't wait to get to that first game on the 15th of October.
I heard you briefly speak about the attraction with coming down here, and the coach was a big part of that.
Yeah, I'm probably a little biased. I've played for Claudia in Townsville and known her for probably 10 years now. So we have a really great relationship and I just love what she does as a coach. So as soon as she got the job, yeah, my decision was kind of locked in. So yeah, I can't wait to play for her again. I guess I was set to play for her in Townsville back in the day, but she had other job opportunities. So I think it's amazing now that she can be a full-time coach and get to do that.
How far does a relationship like that go with your coach in terms of coming into a new place, being comfortable and playing your best basketball?
Yeah, I think it goes far. Like I said, I've got my daughter who's only 8 months old. We've kind of left my husband back in Perth, so just having confidence that I know the club's going to be flexible with things around childcare and all of that. I mean, Kayla's been amazing as well. Both her and Claudia are mothers, so they understand. And then, yeah, just I guess a little bit of knowing what I'm walking into while this is a new club. Knowing what Claudia's about and what she stands for is really important.
How's that journey been, having a baby and the comeback mum stuff and all of that?
The hardest, most humbling experience of my life. Definitely those first couple of months coming back, I was really impatient, thought that the process would be a little bit quicker, but I had to kind of just be held back a bit and wait to get on court. It was probably over a year not playing in the end. Maybe I was a little bit naive, thinking that I would bounce back and probably start playing NBL 1 at the start of the season, but I just had to wait it out. And yeah, every day's a challenge and every day has a different challenge, so yeah.
Like Opals recently, do you think you were close to the World Cup squad, or where's that sit with you?
Yes, that burns a little bit. I honestly thought maybe when Kayla George was pregnant, that opened up a spot for me. I felt like my experience and my leadership, I'd slot right into that. I know I am 8 months, nearly 9 months postpartum, but I was really happy with how I performed in China, in those China games in Melbourne. Maybe I didn't play as much and get as big opportunity, but I thought I could still bring what I did bring to the Opals, previously to having Rose. So yeah, I'm really disappointed, and I've got LA in 2 years circled on the calendar, and that's my next big goal in terms of international basketball.
Does that really drive you now and give you some extra motivation?
Yeah, the last month, if I've ever needed motivation, it's that call that you get from Sandy that you don't want to say that you haven't made the team. So yeah, there's a lot of motivation going into this season. I really want to be in that squad for the next 2 years, and I really want to be, considered for that team in 2 years going to LA.
Do you think having the baby was a mark against you at all in terms of the selection process?
I don't think it was a mark against me. I guess, I maybe wasn't as ready as they thought I was, but I mean, it's never a fun job selecting teams, and I would hate to be a coach making that choice. But no, I felt like I did every single thing I could to put myself in the best position. Even in the last 4 or 5 weeks since selection, I felt like I've gotten fitter again. So no, that's just how Sandy saw it, and I'm hoping that I can impress her with this WNBL season and going forward in the next campaign.
I was going to ask you, the fact you've got your eyesight set on LA, does that put more emphasis on your campaign with the Jewels?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I committed the 2 years here and I want to give everything I can. I don't know when my husband and I, maybe if we want to extend our family in after that, or if I'm even going to want to continue playing basketball. I will be 34, so it is kind of a new lease on life after having Rose. And yeah, I like to think that I'm professional, and yeah, as much as I want to push and make that LA team, I'm committed to the Jewels and doing everything I can because I'd love to bring a championship to the team.